It's Tuesday, February 21. In the headlines, Jamaicans urged to conserve water as island experiences drought. In business news, JMMB Group expands in the Dominican Republic. Regionally, inter-regional travel to Barbados is getting a boost with additional 20,000 plus airline seats to the island. Internationally, Russia's president delivers major speech on war with Ukraine. And in sports, CWI names squad for White Ball Series in South Africa. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Members of the public are being urged to practice water conservation in light of a limited supply of several surface water sources across the island. In a statement from the National Water Commission, it indicates that continued drought conditions have affected the Mona Reservoir and Hermitage Dam. The current water level at the Hermitage Dam is 63.5%, and the Mona Reservoir is at 76%. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matthew Samuda, has attributed worsening drought conditions to climate change.
The issue is our weather patterns. Jamaica is currently experiencing what we call meteorological drought. Now, there are two classifications for drought. So oftentimes when you get up and say there's a drought, people say, but the river down the road is full. That's the hydrological features. So we're not experiencing hydrological drought where the rivers and the streams are drying up. But our rainfall, which is the meteorological drought, is down to the point where we classify it as meteorological drought.
He says Jamaica is not at the stage where it is chronic, but it has been brought to the attention of the Prime Minister, and a program is being planned to ensure that the country is ahead of the curve.
Anytime the inflows of water because of rain fall below what is going out, I get nervous. Anytime particular storage systems start to become affected and I start to see some storage systems not able to pump into the networks, you get concerned. We're at the point where inflows are below outflows. So we're seeing depletion certainly in our major systems at a rate that we don't want to see. So it means that I have to, on behalf of the government, firstly, because we're not at the stage of major lockoffs, even though there are some in some communities, we have to ask citizens to conserve. We have to ask you to be conscious as you use your water.
Senator Samuda was speaking at an event in St. Thomas recently. The NWC has commenced a 12-hour water restriction across the Kingston and St. Andrew region as part of its conservation efforts. Persons may visit the NWC's social media platforms for details. Time now for a public advisory. Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, says all of its operations will be closed to the public today, Tuesday, February 21 at 2 p.m. to facilitate a general staff meeting. This meeting will involve team members of all tax offices and business locations on that day. On Thursday, TAJ offices will be back to regular business as the following Wednesday will be observed as Ash Wednesday, a public holiday. Tax Administration Jamaica apologizes for any inconvenience this closure may cause. The government of Jamaica has allocated $405.64 million for the Montego Bay Waterfront Protection Project. The project aims to rehabilitate the Montego Bay groins to reduce the loss of beachfront acreage to coastal erosion and protect valuable coastal resources along the Montego Bay waterfront and the marine ecosystem in the area. Details are contained in the 2023-2024 estimates of expenditure, now before the House of Representatives. There have been several physical achievements up to December 2022. These include the completion of tender documents for combined Southern Groins and Harmony Beach Park and the completion of the Northern Groins. For the 2023 to 2024 period, anticipated physical targets are completion of the waterfront protection structure at the Southern Groin and the North Gully Wall revetment directly adjacent to the southern area of Harmony Beach Park. The project is being implemented by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and the Urban Development Corporation, the UDC. Originally slated for completion between April 2019 and March 2021, additional time was granted from April 2021 to March 2023. Further extension for the project has been set for April 2023 to March 2024. The Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation, JANAC, is the only internationally recognized accreditation body in the English-speaking Caribbean, operating in 10 CARICOM states. It is an agency which falls under the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, MIIC. According to Governor General His Excellency Sir Patrick Allen, this puts Jamaica in a position of great power and sets the nation on a path for further well-needed development. According to the Governor General, it is an opportunity that should be taken as far as possible. He made his statements at the ceremonial opening of Parliament on February 14. Maya Chung tells us more.
Governor General of Jamaica, Sir Patrick Allen, has disclosed that the National Investment Policy, which was tabled as a white paper in December 2022, envisions positioning Jamaica as a major player in the global investment community and seeks to drive economic growth and sustainable development. During the ceremonial opening of Parliament on February 14, Sir Allen said that over the next 3 years, the policy will facilitate both local and foreign private investments and will result in increased clarity and certainty, predictability, and investor confidence. The Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation, JANAC, was recognized in June 2022 as an accreditation body under the United States Food and Drug Administration Accredited Third-Party Certification Program, TPP, which enables JANAC to accredit food certification bodies to conduct FDA audits and certify food facilities. He said local and regional manufacturers and producers can now benefit from expedited entry of food exports to the United States. JANAC is the only internationally recognized accreditation body in the English-speaking Caribbean operating in 10 CARICOM states. According to the Governor General, the 2023-2024 work will continue on amendments to the Companies Act and the Insolvency Amendment Bill. In the meantime, on the issue of science, energy, and technology, Sir Allen said that the government will be seeking to build a stronger Jamaica. The Governor General said the value of energy security and technology adoption has been recognized and will be explored and implemented. He added that the government is updating the National Energy Policy 2009 to 2030 to ensure that it reflects global and local changes and positions the energy sector to become more secure, sustainable, clean, and reliable over the next 30 years. The updated policy will also provide guidance towards achieving the target of 50% renewables within the electricity sector. For the news on PBCJ, I am Maya Chung.
Why is oral health important? What are the conditions that can result from poor oral health? And what are some of the steps each of us can take to improve our oral health? In this edition of Living Healthy, the WHO's Vismita Gupta-Smith gets the answers from Dr. Benoit Veren.
Welcome, Benoit. Let's start with why WHO places so much importance on oral health. Why is it important for everyone?
You're right. Oral health is everybody's business. Oral health is the health of our mouth, our teeth, and our gum. Oral health is also fundamental to our ability to breathe, to speak, to eat, but also even to smile. The mouth is also the starting point of our body system defense and immunity. The new WHO report tells us that almost half of the world population is affected by some disease, oral disease. And vulnerable and marginalized populations are particularly affected. This means that oral health and poor oral health is a marker of health inequalities. When oral health is compromised by disease or injury, general health is also affected. Oral disease can also have a social and economic impact in individuals and families by increasing household expenditures and seriously affecting people's quality of life and well-being.
Benoit, explain to us what are the conditions that can result from poor oral health?
The most common oral disease and conditions are dental caries or tooth decay, gum disease, tooth loss, dental trauma, and oral cancer. All these diseases are preventable and treatable in the early stages. In more severe cases, oral disease can lead to disability and even death. Oral disease are caused by a range of risk factors. They include tobacco use, alcohol consumption, and unhealthy food and drinks. All these risk factors are shared with other medical conditions or non-communicable disease such as diabetes, cancer, chronic respiratory disease, cardiovascular disease, or mental disorders. The biggest challenge are cost and access to oral health care. In many countries, oral health care are not accessible or not affordable to most people. Implementing prevention measures, such as in school, communities, and in workplace, is our best approach.
Benoit, speak to us about how we can maintain and improve our oral health.
This is a great question, Vismita. We have a number of top tips valid for all age. The most effective measure to prevent dental caries is to brush your teeth twice a day, after the breakfast and before going to bed with a fluoride toothpaste. Something to reminder is using toothpaste without fluoride is not effective against dental caries. Second, to help prevent dental caries and maintain general health, reduce consumption of sugar in food and drink. Water is the best drink every day at any time. Another tip is to protect your teeth and face from injury. Use a protective equipment when you are doing sport. Wear a helmet that covers the mouth if you are riding a motorcycle, and do not forget your seatbelt if you are traveling in the car. Finally, to lower the risk of oral cancer, quit smoking all forms of tobacco and reduce alcohol consumption. We should keep in mind that maintaining a good oral health has a positive impact to our general health, well-being, and quality of life.
Time now for the business report with Danita Rodney.
Regional Financial Conglomerate JMMB Group has opened its newest branch location in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic as they seek to continue its expansion plan in the Spanish-speaking territory. This new location is said to be in line with the deepening of the JMMB Group's footprint in the Dominican Republic as part of its regional diversification strategy. It will also provide economic support and growth in the area. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Monday, February 20, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.24. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $115.41. The pound sterling traded for $184.72, and the euro sold for $167.90. In JSE trading, the JSE index advanced by 2,287 points. The junior market index advanced by 4 points. The combined market index advanced by 2,171 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index advanced by 2,961 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 114 stocks, of which 42 advanced, 61 declined, and 11 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Cargo Handlers Limited, and Caribbean Cream Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Weber Preference, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Trading firm were Siboney Group Limited, First Rock Real Estate Investments Limited, and Honeybun 1982 Limited. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 4 million units, Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited, and Surgical Select Funds Limited financials with over 2 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, Calypso Macro Index Fund was the only security trading 80 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, 0 securities traded. In regional business, Antiguan Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Gaston Brown is forecasting a 9% growth in real gross domestic product. More from EBS News.
The head of government expects this growth to be driven by foreign direct investments. He says the country will experience even higher levels of growth than what has been forecast, as has been the case for the last 2 years.
Well, this year promises to be very strong in terms of performance. I believe it will be perhaps the strongest rate of growth. I can see us doing at least 9%, and by so doing, expanding the economy.
The head of government hails as momentous this country's economic recovery following the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Last year, for example, we grew the country's economy by over 8%. The year before, we did 7.43%. So within a 2-year period, we clawed back about 16% of the losses as a result of COVID in 2020. And by the end of the first quarter of this year, we would have completely recovered the 20% that we lost.
In international business, from a grim anniversary in Ukraine to earnings report from some heavy hitters, these are the big stories to look out for in business and finance in the week ahead.
Senior politicians and military leaders will debate the West's further response to the war in Ukraine at the Munich Security Conference. It comes days before the anniversary of Russia's invasion. The conflict has reshaped commodity and energy flows and pushed up inflation and funding pressures globally.
In market data for oil, Brent oil fell as concern about a global economic slowdown that would reduce demand prompted investors to take profits on the previous day's gain, outweighing supply curbs. Brent crude was down $1.09 at $82.98 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude was up 43 cents at $76.77. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, inter-regional travel to Barbados is getting a boost with additional 20,000 plus airline seats to the island. This has been revealed by the chairman of the board of directors of Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Shelley Williams.
The development follows robust discussions with French airline Air Antilles. Ms. Williams says from April the 1st this year, the Grantley Adams International Airport will welcome a new daily schedule of flights between Barbados and Dominica, St. Lucia, Martinique, and Pointe-à-Pitre in Guadeloupe. The French airline based in Guadeloupe has been flying to Barbados since February 2017.
For the ramping up of Air Antilles from 3 days to a daily service connecting the French Caribbean through St. Lucia and Dominica to Barbados, this is a significant addition of seats. We are going from 15,000 seats to now 35,000 seats. So a significant increase. And this significant increase has a strong economic impact during this time. We have calculated it at an increase of about $9 million across the board.
According to Ms. Williams, as part of Barbados' post-COVID recovery strategy, it's time to look at the best way to increase activity between Bridgetown and the Caribbean, especially during what she described as a soft summer period. Ms. Williams says with some 35,000 seats anticipated annually, this should boost earnings significantly.
We see this as a major step of addressing what is known as a soft summer. Now, traditionally, we've always had softer summers than winters, but we have been having soft summers because there's no connectivity throughout the Caribbean. Now, we thought it be very timely for Air Antilles because we're going to be welcoming in the CHTA marketplace, and our Caribbean brothers must be able to come to Barbados to showcase their destination as well. Then we move into our sweetest summer festival, Crop Over, and we know that that is our Caribbean brothers again who participate. And that means that hotels can benefit. So I think we are listening and working with our hoteliers to make sure that we address the regional airlift as best as possible.
Caribbean Tourism Organization Chairman and Cayman Islands Minister of Tourism and Transport, Kenneth Bryan, has announced that 2023 will see the return of Caribbean Week in New York come June.
The State of the Industry Conference in the Turks and Caicos in the fall and a conference focused on sustainable tourism development. This comes as the tourism sector across the Caribbean registers strong post-pandemic results. The 25-member Caribbean Tourism Organization is resuming several hallmark activities and events to help strengthen the region's position as the world's leading warm weather destination. Minister Bryan also reported that CTO's marketing committee will meet in the weeks ahead to finalize details for the upcoming calendar of events. Now, Minister Bryan disclosed that the newly invigorated CTO is focusing on increasing the number of member countries and territories.
A high-level delegation of the Africa Export-Import Bank met with the Antiguan cabinet on Monday afternoon during their official visit. ABS News has the details.
Well, the bank's president led a delegation of high-level executives during the talks which focused on priority projects the bank may be able to fund in this country. Now, they were also due to discuss the country acceding to the partnership agreement as well as development opportunities of mutual interest. The visit by the officials is part of an OECS mission in which they will also pay official visits to St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The latest talks come on the heels of an announcement that Afrexim Bank has approved $1.5 billion in development funding for the benefit of 9 CARICOM states, including this country. The financing from the bank will enable CARICOM countries to access funding to aid sectors including tourism, healthcare, renewable energy, shipping, mining, agriculture, and agribusiness, airlinks, as well as aquaculture.
Guyana has seen 11 COVID-19 related deaths so far this year. With deaths and cases still being recorded across the country, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony is pleading with people to get vaccinated.
In the last 24 hours, we didn't have any deaths, but for the year, we have had 11 deaths, 8 in January and 3 in February. So right now, we have 34 cases across the country, and we've been monitoring these cases. It varies by region. So in Region 1, currently we don't have any case. In Regions 2, we have 4 cases. Regions 3, 3 cases. Regions 4, 11 cases. Regions 5, 1. Region 6, 5 cases. Region 7, 6 cases. Regions 8, 0. Regions 9, 4. And Region 10, 0.
That was the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, speaking during his COVID-19 update on Monday. According to him, COVID-19 infections and deaths are still being recorded across the country, but he believes that official figures may be an underrepresentation because of low testing. Because of this, he's pleading with more people to get vaccinated. Children in particular should be vaccinated to protect them against the disease.
Not doing too good. We need to get more people vaccinated. Right now, for the first dose, booster, for the population that is eligible, meaning those 5 years and older, we have only been able to administer 13.4% of that eligible population. And for second dose, we are at 1% for the eligible populations.
The health minister warned that several coronavirus variants are circulating, and as such, the threat of COVID-19 is not yet over. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Raghabir.
President Vladimir Putin delivered a major speech to Russia's elite, assessing the invasion he ordered a year ago. His address comes after several high-stakes diplomatic moves, including U.S. President Joe Biden's unannounced visit to Kyiv. Biden is now in Poland, where he's set to consult with allies from NATO's eastern flank. The UN says more than 7,000 people have died in Ukraine. The true toll is feared to be much higher. Al Jazeera has more.
And I would remind you that in 2014, Kyiv regime put all their resources with military weapons and tanks to the area of Donbass. In 2015, they started again an attempt to direct Donbass directly, besieging them and terrorizing people living there. And all of that contradicted the agreed resolutions and agreements in place. I would like to repeat that they started this war and we use all our strength to stop it.
Те, кто планировали новую атаку на Донецк, на Донбасс, на Луганск, четко понимали,
Those who planned a new attack in Donbass, in Lugansk, Donetsk,
это знали и понимали. А сейчас о таких далеко идущих замыслах
they were going to strike Crimea next, and we knew about it. We knew about their plans, and in Kyiv, they now say about it openly. We knew it anyway. We defend our country, our people, and the West already spent $150 billion for supporting Kyiv regime, and G7 allocated only $60 billion for supporting poor countries. So you know what I mean. They spend $150 billion for supporting military actions in Ukraine, but only $60 million to support poor countries to fight poverty or to develop ecology, where all of this good work disappeared. And they keep putting funds into fueling this war. Recently, at the Munich conference, they repetitively accused us in order to ensure that the whole world forgets what the West has done over the last 10 years. They let the genie out of the bottle. The genie out of the bottle, they left ago. And we didn't make out all those data figures that we have. And about 38 million people became refugees now.
In sport, the Cricket West Indies senior men's selection panel has announced the one-day international and T20 international squads for the upcoming series against South Africa. The West Indies will play 3 ODIs on March 16, 18 and 21, followed by 3 T20 internationals on March 25, 26 and 28. CWI in a statement on Monday informed that Shai Hope will have his first series as captain in the ODIs, with all-rounder Rovman Powell appointed as the new vice-captain. In the T20 internationals, Captain Rovman Powell will be supported by a new vice-captain in batting all-rounder Kyle Mayers. Fast bowler Shannon Gabriel has earned a recall to the ODI squad on the back of his performances during the CG United Super 50 Cup last November. And that's the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gill. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. And also remember, we are the People's Station.